Hi, today I'm here to talk about how to recover from an eating disorder. You know them, the media loves them, and I had one. So let's get into it. First, let me take you back to winter of 2023. I was sitting in the Barnard Health Center seeking relief from a gnarly cold and chatting with one of the doctors there. She looks down at my sheet and sees that I have a diagnosis of anorexia nervosa. I said that I did, but that's in the past and I'm in recovery now. She looks back down at it and goes, "Well, I see a lot of these here." I asked, "Is that because it's an historically women's college?" Thinking, okay, makes sense. I mean, women are roughly 3 times more likely than men to have an eating disorder. She looks down and goes, "No, Barnard specifically." And this is when I thought to myself, what? Because for as long as I've been here, I have not seen one school-led discussion board, forum, event, or anything regarding eating disorder education or eating disorder recovery. And despite this lack of dialogue, she felt confident and comfortable enough to tell me this, which means that Barnard students are likely struggling in silence. In fact, I know they are, because I struggled in silence. So, first, if no one's really talking about it, how important is it really? I mean, is it that big of a deal? Well, the numbers I'm going to tell you, I might be smiling while I say them, but these are not fun statistics. Eating disorders have the second highest mortality rate out of any mental health disorder, right next to opiate use disorder. So that means that one person every 52 minutes dies because of their eating disorder. Individuals with eating disorders are 11 times more likely to try to take their own life than those without. People with anorexia nervosa specifically are 18 times more likely. And let's do a little exercise right now. I want everyone to think of a classic image of someone with an eating disorder. Go ahead, I'll do it too. Okay, you probably thought of someone thin, malnourished, a model maybe, and that makes sense because that's what the media has showed us eating disorders to look like. But in reality, that's not really the case. See, only 6% of people are medically diagnosed as underweight. So that means that 94% of those with eating disorders aren't. And sadly, because of these things like the media's portrayal of eating disorders, this 94% is 14 times less likely to be diagnosed in a doctor's office. So now you know some of the general statistics. Let's talk about some of the Barnard-specific statistics. In a 2021 study done by our very own student government, it found from the 468 Barnard respondents that 41.8% of them had struggled or currently are struggling with disordered eating or an eating disorder. 42.7 out of 509 respondents of the same study feel the need to restrict their eating in the Barnard dining halls. So it's here, whether we like it or not. And I think it's important we learn what it looks like. So physically, it can be fatigue, it can be dizziness or fainting, hair loss, and the classic rapid weight loss or rapid weight gain. But more seriously, it can look like bone density issues. It can look like long-term reproductive health problems or a weak heart. I mean, heart failure is one of the most common causes of death among individuals with eating disorders. Behaviorally, it can be the, restricting food, but it can also be eating a lot of food in a short period of time, or using the bathroom compulsively after every meal, exercising excessively. It can look like food rituals, like cutting your food up into really small pieces. And it can also look like drawing away from friends and loved ones. And this is something I really want to hone in on here, because an eating disorder thrives in secrecy. For it to function to its fullest capacity, you kind of need to be alone. So as you talk more and more with your eating disorder, you spend less time with the people you love and doing the things you love until your eating disorder is the most important thing in your life, your most important relationship. And despite all of this, it can still be kind of hard to identify an eating disorder if you're not a trained specialist. I mean, I remember my freshman year roommate thought that I was just really healthy and loved exercising. What I was doing to my body was not healthy, and I did not love exercising. So with that problem of identification, I want to talk to those directly struggling and ask them to reach out and tell someone here. Tell a friend, a peer, a partner, And I wouldn't be saying this if I didn't have complete faith in the Barnard student body. I mean, as you've seen tonight, the people here are kind and smart, compassionate, and it's because of my friends here that I felt really confident to commit to recovery. So, if you're the friend that's told, first of all, congratulations, that probably means you're a great friend, but also, how do you respond to that? Well, I ask you to respond gently and listen, empathetically, without judgment. Urge them to seek help, but understand they might not want it. See, the eating disorder tries as hard as possible to keep you out of recovery. So if you're met with rejection or anger, no, it's not your friend, it's the disorder. And most importantly, still see your friend for who they are. It was because my friends still saw me for me and not my disorder that I was able to see that I was something more than it too. So all in all, eating disorders are horrible. They suck the life out of you. I was practically translucent by the end of mine. And this is why, again, I urge you to start the dialogue and tell someone. It might seem like one of the scariest things you've ever done, and I know it did for me, but it was the best decision I've ever made for myself. And I promise you, recovery is everything I thought a thinner body would bring me. So, if you decide to take the leap and tell someone, know that you will have our strong hands to catch you. Thank you.